Hi again, it's Willow. Just a little kind of education on caring for your jars for canning. These jars, if you're actually canning, there's processes you need to go through. You need to wipe off the lids. You need to make sure that these rings right here, that they're intact and all that. So those are there's safety guidelines to help you make sure your canned foods will last for you. Now, I was sick when I first started getting into canning. And so but my first batch of lids and rings, they ended up sitting in water for a while, and that's not good if you're going to use them for canning at all. This one, you can see that there's a gap missing in the rubber rim right here, so I can never use this lid again for canning. However, I can use this rim for short-term use. So, like for these mushrooms, I can use it for short-term use. Now, this rim's kind of okay, but this rim, you can tell that there's some rust inside the lid. And this one, let's see if I can, there, that's better, I think. So, again, if a ring has rust in it, now granted you do only use the rings when you're actually pressure canning and until they cool down, but it's not something that should be used long term. The seals are the most important part. So that's the most important part. So I'm just going to take these two, and like this one has rust on it as well. So these I'm going to use for short-term use. And there's a difference in the rings. The smaller rings, like this, are, they're called for regular mouth. And if you look at the size of that, well, I guess I'll do it this way. The size of this type of jar, it's a smaller jar, that's called a regular mouth. Now, the onions, not only is the jar bigger, and it's a half pint, which would be a cup, but the rim is way bigger. As you can see, if I tried putting this ring on it, it really would not work. So this is a regular rim. And so when they're big like this, they're called wide mouth. And wide mouth are really great if you're like canning meats and stuff. So things fall in there more. With wide mouth, if you're canning, it makes less space in the canner because the rim is bigger. But both of them work just as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed my dehydration process and hope you've learned something. If you have comments, you can write them in the thing below. First time I'm saying this. And I guess everybody else says like and subscribe and ring that bell thing. I guess that's for notifications. So yeah, God always provides and Jesus loves you, and you have a blessed day.